Did Jeffrey Epstein's immense wealth shield a dark underworld of secrets, or was it a facade for something far more sinister? Jeffrey Epstein's opulent estates belied a darker truth. Behind their luxury, they concealed sinister secrets and manipulations. Epstein, far from a beacon of success, wielded his wealth as a tool of control, manipulating both the powerful and unsuspecting. Take his New York mansion, for example. In the heart of New York City, Epstein's towering mansion stood at 9 East 71st Street, a testament to his immense wealth and the mysteries it concealed. Purchased in 1989 for $13.2 million from Leslie Wexner, the CEO of L Brands. The property, valued at $56 million by 2020, was a monument to Epstein's ability to manipulate connections and assets to his advantage. Behind its grand limestone facade, the 7-story structure, one of the largest private residences in Manhattan, bore silent witness to Epstein's dual life. Beyond the city's bustle lies a secluded island, a paradise that holds secrets much darker than its sandy shores suggest. Inside, the decor was as extravagant as it was eclectic, a bizarre mix of priceless art, exotic taxidermied animals, and unsettling, peculiar fixtures. A hallway was lined with row upon row of individually framed eyeballs acquired from British soldiers at a cost of $2,500 each, a chilling metaphor for the watchful eyes that missed the reality behind the ostentatious walls. The house, designed more as a labyrinth of secrets than a home, featured hidden doors and concealed compartments, some of which held $70,000 in cash and dozens of diamonds revealed during the FBI raid in 2019. Yet the mansion was more than a trove of oddities and wealth. It was a hub for Epstein's network, where power and vulnerability collided. Here, Epstein hosted dinners for scientists, politicians, and celebrities, the cost of each event easily surpassing tens of thousands of dollars, funded by his nebulous financial empire. His guests, often unaware of the mansion's darker purpose, marveled at the display of affluence and intellect, oblivious to the exploitation that funded it. In this grandiose setting, Epstein crafted his most devious illusions. The magnificence of the mansion masked the depravity of its owner, as Epstein paraded his wealth and influence, all while engineering a complex web of manipulation and abuse. The opulence of 9 East 71st Street, in all its glory, was nothing more than a gilded cage, built upon deceit, fear, and the stolen innocence of the vulnerable. Juan Alessi, Epstein's former butler who served at his Florida estate, witnessed the inner workings of Epstein's world. He later broke his silence, revealing the unsettling routines within Epstein's grand mansion. Alessi's recollections, from meticulous orders to strict protocols, offer a rare glimpse behind the mansion's opulent facade, exposing an environment rigidly controlled to serve Epstein's clandestine purposes. From an island of nightmares, we now turn to the web of influence Epstein spun, entangling the rich and powerful in his controversial saga. Off the coast of St. Thomas lay Little St. James, Epstein's private island, purchased for $7.95 million in 1998. This 75-acre retreat, dubbed by many as Pedophile Island, was a paradise lost, its idyllic beauty blemished by the heinous acts that unfolded within its secluded shores. The island, valued at over $63 million, was a stark embodiment of Epstein's darkest indulgences, veiled under the guise of luxury and exclusivity. The main residence, sprawling and opulent, overlooked crystal-clear waters. Yet, its serene facade belied the grim reality hidden inside. This was where Epstein orchestrated his most secretive gatherings, the financial burden of maintaining such a private haven easily running into millions annually. The island's staff, sworn to secrecy, operated within a culture of silence, further entrenching the atmosphere of control and intimidation. Little St. James served as a getaway for Epstein's high-profile associates, a lure for the powerful under the pretense of privacy and leisure. But for many, it was a place where innocence was traded for Epstein's perverse desires. The costs were immeasurable, not in dollars, but in the irreparable harm inflicted upon the victims ensnared in Epstein's web. This island, with its tainted sands and corrupted halls, stood as a grim monument to Epstein's dual life, a paradise for the elite, a prison for the entrapped. It was here, amidst the deceptive tranquility, that the true horror of Epstein's empire was most acutely felt, a stark reminder of the cruelty that wealth and power can mask. The glitter of elite gatherings hides a disturbing underbelly. Join us as we uncover the truth behind these extravagant, exclusive events. In the shadowy corridors of power, Epstein deftly maneuvered his connections, weaving a network that included some of the world's most influential figures. His circle spanned from the political arena, with names like Bill Clinton, who reportedly flew on Epstein's private jet 26 times, to the realms of royalty, like Prince Andrew, ensnared in controversy due to his close association with Epstein. The infamous Lolita Express, Epstein's private Boeing 727, became a symbol of this clandestine network. It was on this aircraft that luminaries such as Kevin Spacey and Chris Tucker joined Epstein on a trip to Africa, ostensibly for charitable purposes, but now shrouded in suspicion. These flights, often lavish and extravagant, cost upwards of $10,000 per hour, yet were just a drop in the ocean of Epstein's $500 million fortune. At his New York mansion, Epstein hosted dinner parties that were a who's who of the elite. Guests like Lawrence Krauss, a renowned physicist, and George Church, a genetics professor from Harvard, were regulars drawn into Epstein's orbit by the allure of intellectual discourse and the promise of funding for their projects. These gatherings, under the guise of philanthropy and academia, further entrenched Epstein's influence. Epstein's network was not just a testament to his wealth, but a camouflage for his nefarious activities. His connections afforded him a veneer of respectability and protection, allowing his criminal behavior to go unchecked for years. The costs of these relationships were staggering, not in financial terms, but in the damage inflicted upon the lives he touched, leaving a legacy of betrayal and shattered trust. The extravagance of Epstein's life contrasts sharply with its impact. Let's explore the lasting, troubling legacy left in his wake. In the heart of Manhattan, Jeffrey Epstein's opulent mansion was more than just a symbol of his immense wealth. It was the epicenter of a series of lavish parties that have since become infamous. These gatherings, a showcase of luxury, drew in a roster of high-profile figures, from politicians to celebrities, all unwittingly partaking in events that allegedly concealed a sinister reality. Bill Clinton, a frequent flyer on Epstein's private jet, the Lolita Express, was a notable attendee amidst rumors of his numerous visits to Epstein's private island. Prince Andrew, too, found his name entwined with Epstein's, mired in allegations and scandal. The Duke of York's association with Epstein, particularly the allegations involving Virginia Giuffre, remains one of the most controversial aspects of this web of influence. Each party at Epstein's residence, often costing upwards of $100,000, was a meticulously crafted affair. Yet beneath the veneer of exclusivity and elegance, there lurked a disturbing undercurrent of sexual exploitation. Young women, many under the age of consent, and lurid with promises of money and connections, allegedly found themselves entrapped in Epstein's predatory scheme. Epstein's manipulation extended beyond his New York mansion. His private island, Little St. James, was the site of even more egregious acts. Allegedly, girls as young as 14 were flown to the island, with flight logs showing a continuous stream of influential guests, including names like Kevin Spacey and Chris Tucker, adding to the notoriety of Epstein's travel itineraries. The cost of maintaining such extravagant lifestyles was astronomical. Epstein's private jet, essential for transporting his guests, cost approximately $15,000 per hour to operate. His island, a seemingly idyllic paradise, was in reality a place of nightmares for many young women, the cost of its upkeep running into millions, overshadowed by the incalculable cost of the trauma inflicted upon its victims. The allegations of sexual abuse at these parties are numerous and deeply troubling. Reports suggest that Epstein used his wealth and influence to silence his victims, offering them money in exchange for their silence. This hush money, running into tens of thousands of dollars, was a mere fraction of Epstein's estimated $577 million net worth, yet it was enough to create a shroud of secrecy around his actions. Virginia Giuffre, one of Epstein's most vocal accusers, has detailed her experiences at these parties, painting a harrowing picture of abuse and manipulation. Her allegations against figures like Prince Andrew have brought international attention to Epstein's predatory behavior, revealing the extent to which his influence had permeated the upper echelons of society. As more details emerge, the true nature of these lavish parties becomes increasingly apparent. They were not just extravagant social events, but a façade for Epstein's most heinous activities. The cost of these gatherings, once seen as a testament to Epstein's wealth, is now measured in the lives impacted by his actions. The legacy of these parties is not one of glamour and exclusivity, but of exploitation and abuse. A stark reminder of how power and wealth can be used to mask the most egregious of crimes. As we reflect on Epstein's complicated legacy, we're left to ponder the profound moral questions his story raises about wealth and influence. The enigmatic and dark legacy of Jeffrey Epstein was further shrouded in controversy by the circumstances of his death in August 2019. Found unresponsive in his cell at the Metropolitan Correctional Center in New York, his death was ruled a suicide. Epstein's sudden demise, occurring shortly after being denied bail on federal charges of sex trafficking minors, sparked widespread speculation and theories, fueled by the numerous high-profile connections and the gravity of the allegations against him. Epstein's death did little to quell the storm he had created. In the wake of his passing, with an estate valued at over $577 million, a flood of legal claims emerged. His accusers, many still grappling with the trauma of their alleged experiences, sought restitution from his vast fortune. The legal process for these claims was complex and fraught with emotion, as victims sought not only financial compensation but acknowledgement of their suffering. The fallout from Epstein's death extended to his high-profile associations. Figures like Prince Andrew faced intensified scrutiny due to their connections with Epstein, leading to a dramatic public fallout and legal challenges. The controversy surrounding Epstein's death also cast a shadow over the institutions and individuals that had once moved in his orbit, raising questions about accountability and complicity. Epstein's death, rather than providing closure, opened a Pandora's box of legal and ethical questions. It left a legacy mired in mystery, controversy, and a poignant reminder of the unresolved injustices carried out under the guise of wealth and power. His end, steeped in ambiguity, added yet another layer to the complex narrative of his life, leaving a tale marked by opulence, influence, and a deeply troubling underbelly. As we reflect on Epstein's complicated legacy, we're left to ponder the profound moral questions his story raises about wealth and influence. Jeffrey Epstein's life, a paradox of wealth and moral bankruptcy, reminds us that true value lies not in riches, but in integrity. His legacy, a complex interplay of luxury and ethical decay, urges us to ponder: does wealth empower humanity, or does it eclipse it? Don't forget to subscribe to keep updated on new videos. Tap your screen to watch the next video right now.